Some men call love red as the martyred vein, whose gospel pulses hot beneath the skin. They crown him king of appetite and pain, and swear all true devotions there begin. But I, long schooled by absence, loss, delay, have seen red banners rot in weathered air. For red burns quick, then wastes itself away, a brief republic fed by its despair. The deeper sacrament arrives in blue. Not wound alone, but wound become the sky. Not flame, but smoke the soul keeps looking through. The color distance leaves upon the eye. For when red dies, its embers still are spread. Blue is the ghost continuing from red. Blue is the ghost continuing from red. A tardy pilgrim entering human speech. The Greeks saw wine-dark ocean surge instead, as though the hue still floated out of reach. Kianus wandered darkly without home, and Glaukos drifted green to silver pale. No tongue could fix the heavens into chrome, nor fully pin the sea beneath one tale. Thus blue arrived not present, but deferred, a sign long seeking out his proper name, an after-image haunting every word, a lamp half visible beneath the flame. And so love too first flickers incomplete. We name the fire before we know the heat. We name the fire before we know the heat, and call first longing origin too soon, yet later mouths make former kisses fleet, as tides revise inscriptions left at noon. The first beloved never wholly stays. Memory edits what desire first writ. Time glosses all our early fervent days, and hindsight folds new commentaries on it. Thus every passion bears another's trace, each vow containing echoes of the last. No love stands fully singular in place, for all are haunted manuscripts recast. The soul's palimpsest thickens year by year. Each vanished touch still leaves its pigment here. Each vanished touch still leaves its pigment here, like a cobalt wash beneath a later glaze. The finished canvas may seem bright and clear, yet hidden blues still govern all its rays. So painters know, no surface stands alone. The underpainting alters every light. A buried stroke becomes the flesh's tone, and old revisions pulse beneath the white. Likewise the heart, though overpainted long, retains prior atmospheres within its ground. Old griefs tint even newly perfect song, and absent hands still subtly shape the sound. Love paints not boldly only, but in veils. Blue gathers depth precisely where it pales. Blue gathers depth precisely where it pales, and nowhere blooms more strange than in the rose, for nature wise in all her branching trails denied that hue where crimson overflows. Thus lovers, thwarted by creation's law, dyed petals false and bred impossible things. They labored toward a flower nobody saw, a dream stained blue upon impossible springs. Oh, blessed failure, sacred supplément. Desire made visible through what was missed, the absent bloom became more permanent, that any common rose the garden kissed. For longing most resembles heaven's art, it grows blue roses in the wanting heart. It grows blue roses in the wanting heart, as skies grow blue through scattered light alone. No azure hangs in heaven set apart, but atmosphere makes wandering wavelengths known. Those blue is born relationally still, an intercourse of distance, sun and air. The eye receives what emptiness can fill, and finds an apparition blooming there. So too does love emerge through intervals, through closed rooms, departures, unsent letters, through oceans, years, and midnight unheard calls, through all the space that an absence fetters. The nearest souls are not free from severance. Blue is the color shown from reverence. Blue is the color shown from reverence, yet also by the flesh when flesh is torn. The bruise records the body's irreverence, of violet scripture left where pain was born. Thus sorrow wears the selfsame robes as grace. Cathedral blues and wounds alike endure. The struck heart and the saint possess one face, for both are marked by what they cannot cure. I once mistook uninjuredness for peace, and solitude for wisdom's final room, yet untouched things achieve no true release, only struck bells discover how to bloom. The soul grows loud through what it survives. Love leaves blue marks, proving the spirit lives. Love leaves blue marks, proving the spirit lives. As oceans prove the moon through tidal sway, the sailor reads the heavens as he gives his fragile body to the darkened bay. Blue is the atlas distance writes in air, the hue of maps unfolding past the shore. All longing gazes first through cobalt prayer, seeking some lamp another harbor bore. Thus separation tutors us in scale. The absent face enlarges in the mind. Affection learns to navigate by frail, constellatory traces left behind. For every true voyage is partly blind. Love sails by stars the hand cannot yet find. Love sails by stars the hand cannot yet find. As pilgrims move toward reliquaries dim, the holy ever keeps itself behind a veil through which the mortal eye grows slim. Hence Mary wears blue robes in painted glass, not red of conquest, but celestial care, a tenderness through which all sorrows pass, a stillness vast enough to shelter prayer. And I begin to think divinity may not blaze gold alone beyond the dome, but move like quiet atmospheric sea, a distant light persuading us toward home. For heaven's gentlest revelations move, not scarletly through fear, but blue through love. Not scarletly through fear, but blue through love. The old musicians bent grief into song. Their notes, like midnight birds the swamps approve, turned heart itself into place to belong. The bluesman sings not merely to lament, but to survive the pressure of the night. By naming sorrow, sorrow grows more bent, and suffering itself acquires light. Thus all true art resembles alchemy. It takes the bruise and teaches it to ring, transforms abandonment through melody, till loss itself becomes a burnished thing. So too the heart, if broken well and through, may yet become an instrument of blue. May yet become an instrument of blue. Though language falters, nearing what is true, for every metaphor at last breaks through its borrowed robes and stands without a cue. I once theorized love endlessly and read through Freud and Barthes and all the différance. Yet one clear gaze undid what I had read, and silence suddenly surpassed romance. The learned tongue collapsed before one word, not thesis now, nor symbol, nor review. No vast exegesis remained unheard, only this utterance, blue. And somehow all the fractured meanings met, and though pure presence paid deferral's debt, as though pure presence paid deferral's debt, I saw thee standing there beyond all signs, no trace abolished, yet no longer set in endless chains, for every meaning pines. The years before thee now rearranged all, like prisms suddenly resolving white, each prior love became preparatory toll, a staircase laboring towards this sight. This first I knew why lesser flames decay. They are not false. They merely cannot bear the full spectrum arrival of the day whose cobalt certainty transfigures air. What others call contentment is too mild. I saw eternity become a child. I saw eternity become a child, and all my clever systems turned to glass. Derrida smiled so faintly, half beguiled, to watch pure presence through the structure pass. No sign escapes relation, whispers he, and surely he is right in nearly all, yet sometimes lived phenomenology strikes theory like a hammer on a wall. For What is one to do when someone stands before the soul with such warm clarity that every chain of absence loosens bands, and their being overmasters rarity? The trace remains, but not as prison now. Love wears contingency upon its brow. Love wears contingency upon its brow, yet blooms regardless in impossible air. The blue rose once but signified only how desire pursues what can never be there. But then, against all grammar, odds, and law, the impossible unfolded into scent, and what philosophers once only saw as lack became embodied sacrament. No metaphor remained, the flower lived, no supplement concealed some prior loss. The word itself seems suddenly forgived, as though all severance met at this cross. And standing there beneath heaven's vast blue dome, I knew at last the impossible come home. I knew at last the impossible come home. Blue is the ghost continuing from red. We named the fire before we know the heat. Each vanished touch still leaves its pigment here. Blue gathers depth precisely where it pales. It grows blue roses in the wanting heart. Blue is the color shown from reverence. Love leaves blue marks, proving the spirit lives. Love sails by stars the hand cannot yet find, yet scarlety through fear, but blue through love. May yet become an instrument of blue, as though pure presence paid deferral's debt. I saw eternity become a child. Love wears contingency upon its brow, and still the blue rose blooms where none